Hello and welcome. My name is Philip Penberthy. I'm a curriculum support specialist for the Education Transformation Office, and this is part one of several parts talking about how to utilize ThinkGate to analyze data in social studies, specifically in civics. The objectives for the day here are going to be to examine the most useful reports to analyze civics data, and I'm going to try to cover that in this first part, but it might leak over a little bit to the second. The second part is going to be using Excel to create differentiated groups and learning targets. Even though ThinkGate gives us a lot of valuable information, Excel really allows you to manipulate the data to be pretty useful. And finally, we're going to explore some ready-made resources to employ once the data has been analyzed that's going to enable teachers to differentiate instruction effectively. Quickly, we're going to go over steps to log on. You can see the web address and how to get onto ThinkGate. And once you're there, you will see a screen that looks something like this. And the first thing you're going to do is click Reporting. Again, this happens after your students have tested. Even though I'd like to walk you through the website and click on these things, for the sake of keeping students' names and teachers' names out of it, I've just taken screenshots, and so you can follow these same steps but on your own computer. Click Reporting, and right in this area you can either find your test right away, or if you need to kind of limit it down, you click on these four arrows that are heading in opposite directions, and you will get a screen that asks you to kind of filter through the different criteria. So for 7th grade, or for grade, you click 7th, subject social studies, course civics, click search, and up will come a screen. If you are a coach, you are going to see your entire middle school and then all the teachers that you support who have this test. If you are a teacher, you'll likely just see your school and then your name. Basically, what you're going to be able to do here is, as a teacher here, you can click that little play button next to your name, and it will drop down all of the different periods that you have, and you'll be able to see just at a glance here how your classes are performing relative to one another and also relative to the school as a whole. And there's actually something that appears above it that shows how the district is performing, so you can get a sense of how you're stacking up. Clicking this little page button on there will bring up an option for you to click on any of these four reports, and we're going to fly through some of these reports because some aren't quite as useful as others. But on this first page here, you'll see at risk. And what at risk allows us to do is see any students that are not performing at proficiency, which for the case of the most recent mid-year assessment, that bar was set at 70%. And so unfortunately, this data might not be all that useful because not all standards that were on the test had been taught. And also, you're kind of seeing here, for every student, there are a lot of different benchmarks where we're going to need remediation, so we're going to have to get a little more focused when looking for how we're going to actually remediate. Another way to view this report is if you click on Standards by Student, and I'm actually going to go back here. You'll see there are different views that you can choose. Standards by Student is going to give you all of the standards and then the students and how they performed on it. This one's a little better because it will help you with grouping. You'll see that it's got these top 4 or 5 students are performing at 0 to 37.5%. From there, it goes down, and these students are all at 50% on the standard. So this might be a little better, but we're going to find some more valuable reports towards the end of this. Mastery. A mastery report shows you the exact opposite of the at-risk. These are the students who have performed at 70% or better, and so it will give you your high group when we're taking these students and putting them into differentiated groups. Proficiency report will give you a glance of how the school is doing as a whole, or how your class is doing as a whole, how many students scored satisfactory, how many limited, how many insufficient. But for the mid-year assessment, most students in the district did not perform at 70% or above, and so this might not be all that meaningful of a report. When we come back on the next thing, my time's about to run out here, we'll look at what happens when you click on the number next to your name instead of the page button.